it is your host, Amber Viola from Politics But Make It Fashion, and I have been getting a lot of messages about the recent story of the senior airman who was shot and killed, so I figured I would go ahead and talk to you guys. Roger Fortson was a 23-year-old senior airman who was killed by police. He was killed by the same county of police officers that had the Acorn incident. I don't know if you guys remember, but a little while ago, an acorn fell and a deputy emptied his whole clip. So the senior airman was shot in his home after a woman called 911. During that 911 call, the person alleged that she's heard an argument, and so it was coded as a domestic call and domestic dispute. So Senior Airman Roger Fortson was home alone by himself. He lived off base. He was on FaceTime with his girlfriend. He wasn't causing any trouble. There wasn't an argument. The girlfriend is in Okaloosa County. The sheriff's deputy responded allegedly to the wrong address for the disturbance and broke through the door and fatally shot him. This is according to the airman's attorney, Ben Crump. The family and their attorney are saying that police had the wrong address and there was absolutely no reason for them to even be at his door or coming into his home. While he was on FaceTime with his girlfriend, there is a video of that, and that has been uploaded. You can hear the initial knock on the door. He calls out, nobody answered. And so he grabbed his gun because he was home alone and wanted protection or felt like he needed protection. So when he went to the door, Florida is an open carry state. He was legally allowed to own his own gun. So he had the gun in his hand when he opened the door. There was no time for him to react. He did not lift up his hands. He did not point the gun at the officers, and they shot him within seconds of the door opening. The footage shows Senior Airman Roger Fortson appears to be holding the gun down, pointed at his side. Once he opened the door, Unit 1401, the deputy tells Fortson to step back. After he opens the door, after he steps back, he's shot immediately. After shooting him, repeatedly, he tells him to drop the gun multiple times, and you can hear Fortson saying, "It's over there." So allegedly, it was maybe already on the ground. There's still a lot coming out from this story. It's just really, really sad because no matter what we do as Black Americans, it's never going to be good enough. You live in a state where you can legally own a firearm. He legally owned his firearm. You live in a state where you can open carry. So how are you just going to shoot somebody within seconds if you already know that people can legally do those things? There's no regard for certain people. And it doesn't matter if you're in the military or not, because they still don't care. And at the end of the day, this could have been me. This could have been so many other Black veterans. This could have been my brother, who is an airman. He's in the Air Force. He lived in Florida. And it's just such a quick rush to judgment. And at the end of the day, people are saying, well, he shouldn't have done this. He shouldn't enter the door with his gun. Is he the police officer? No. Is he the one who's trained? No. The police officer is trained to remain calm in those situations. You can't just open a door shooting at people. And if this was somebody else, say this wasn't a police officer, say it was FedEx, and he opened the door with his gun in his hand, which he's legally allowed to do. If the FedEx driver would have just shot him, it would have been murder, because you can't do that. So I really hope that we get justice for his family. And it's a really traumatizing situation, and it's very, very sad, and it breaks my heart. And he didn't deserve this, And I think that at some point we need to start holding the people accountable who are making these 911 calls that turn out to be just being called because you're Black. Because so many times this situation has happened where someone has called 911 on a Black person and they end up dead or they end up injured. And it turns out it wasn't even a valid reason to call 911. Those people need to be held accountable, because this isn't